Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Music for a Book podcast from the Vault. We are your hosts. I'm Britt.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are bringing you a long story short episode, this time from a remote island in Fiji.
That's right. We are bringing you a ranking of all of our recent reads, Survivor style. We'll take you through every category from first boots to alliance choices to our winner picks.
Yes, and we might even pick a few songs along the way because, well, it's us, and long story short, we'll be yapping about the books we read and having some fun. We won't be going over triggers or a synopsis for every book, so please check your triggers if you have any concerns before diving on into any of these books.
Plus, stay tuned to the end of the episode because we have a special interview with indie author Maggie Hoopis to kick off our first of hopefully many mini manuscripts. She wasn't quite live from the island, but the Wild West will have to do.
So excited for that interview. But for now, it's time to find out which books we'd share rewards with or even give immunity to, and which ones we'd write down on that piece of parchment at Tribal Council.
And here are our segments for the episodes. First, boot books, books that didn't make the jury, books that made the merge, books that are in our alliance, our winner pick books, and books that weren't cast this season, but will be next.
Yes. So, first segment, we're going to knock this one out early. First boot or early boot, which is books that, if given the chance, would have been one of the first ones removed from our islands. The tribe has spoken.
Yes. So mine, I have 4.
Okay.
The first one is The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I started this book like 2 years ago.
Same.
And I had trying to finish up books that I started just to give them another chance. So I gave this a chance.
I'm glad I didn't. It's up here with like 47 pages read, and I never went back to it. So
you're good.
Yeah.
I read it for us. And then All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
We did pick this on the pod.
Did.
My Lovely Song, It's Nice to Have a Friend by Taylor Swift.
Which was a great choice for it.
Yes. And then I did put The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez.
I finished that technically in 2024, so mine probably would have ended up here, if not in the next category.
Yeah. And then Famous Last Words by Jillian McAllister. I wanted the hostage situation to last longer. That's all I'm going to say. It's over so early. It's not a spoiler, but I just wanted that to last longer.
Yeah.
So you're off the island because it didn't last longer.
My first boots, All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker as well. A lot of people love this book. It was just not our book. It was so long for no reason. But my song choice I loved, which was Into the Ocean by Blue October. The next book, okay, listen. The book that's here is The Cock Down the Block by Amy Award. And I should have known by the name that this probably was not my vibe. However, I've seen a lot of really, really positive plus size representation. Like, people love these books for that reason. And so I knew it was going to be a little kitschy, a little tongue in cheek. What I did love was the positive plus size representation. Everything else made me want to crawl out of my skin. I cringed. I wanted to die. I should have DNF'd it, but I was like, but I really love listening to like the body positivity. So I stuck it through. Not for me. And my third one was actually an arc that I got. It was The Empress by Kristen Cast. I did DNF this around 43%. It just was not for me. Very, very, very promising. It was about tarot cards and like getting a new start and falling into magical realms and portals. The pieces did not come together.
All right, next.
Yes.
Books that did not make the jury. So these are books that were fine, but we don't remember all that much about them. They're not terrible, just forgettable.
For sure.
So I did start out with The Playbook by Rebecca Genshak, which was a pod pick. These first 3 are all pod picks for me. That's
so funny.
I know.
I also have a few pod picks in here. You guys, there was a run during season 3 that Hannah and I, every time we would record, looked at each other and we were like, when are we going to get a book that we love again? Like, something is wrong.
And I picked I Think He Knows by Taylor Swift, which, again, a great song. Yeah. And then Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. Picked Lilith by Halsey as the song, which is one of my favorites as well. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I picked Money, Money, Bunny by ABBA for that. But I do have Ninth House, which is sitting on my shelf right there, that I cannot wait to read. I think I'll like that one a lot better by her, so I'm excited. And then Definitely Better Now by Ava Robinson. It was okay. I didn't hate it, but
yeah,
definitely not way up there for me.
For sure. And my list kind of hurts me a little bit in some ways, but the first one is the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. The early back catalog of Abby was just not what I was expecting, especially given how much I deeply love the Part of Your World trilogy. So there was that one. Another one was another arc that I received, which was Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. It was a fine thriller, nothing, shocking, anything like that. I don't remember all the details. I didn't hate it. I do also have a Rebecca Genshak book on here, but it was Comeback, which is the follow-up to Playbook. Again, it was cute. It was fine. Nothing stuck with me from it. I also have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix on here. The song that I picked was Bigger Than the Whole Sky by Taylor Swift. The reason that it's here is even though it did stick with me personally, I just feel like I can't in good conscience recommend it to a lot of people with how dark it is. So it ended up here. It could potentially be on my Made the Merge list, but just for safety. Six of Crows also for me by Leigh Bardugo. My song was Victorious by Panic at the Disco. She Started It by Sean Gilbert. Bad Blood by Taylor Swift. We covered that in our Look What You Made Me Read vault track. It's here because it was bad. Was I entertained? Yes. And then another one that was a recent addition. I finished it just as we're recording this earlier today. One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. Pissed me off. It pissed me off. If you've read it, you probably know why. That is in no way a mystery and or a thriller. It was not mysterious and it did not thrill me. There was no twist. I was very disappointed. However, I was mostly entertained while listening to the audiobook, so that's why it landed here and it wasn't one of my first boots.
Yep.
And then our next segment, we have Made the Merge. So you made it all the way through the tribal part of the game, and now we are in, you're in solo territory. This is a solo run. These are books that we really liked, but they weren't quite good enough to take with us to the end of the game.
Yes. So my first one would be Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn. It was good, but not taking it all the way with me.
Yeah.
The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles, which I did pick for one of our vault episodes.
Yes.
Well, you picked it for me. The song was Space Song by Beach House. And then I did put Look Closer by David Ellis here, which was another pod pick. And my song was Muddy Feet by Miley Cyrus featuring Sia. I did put 0 stars, do not recommend by MJ Wasmer. The more I sit on this one, the more it keeps creeping up on me. Because I think it's just a lot of fun to look back on. It was a very entertaining read for sure.
Yes.
And then First Time Caller by B.K. Borison was here too.
So cute. Mine were Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, which was my favorite of her early back catalog. Playbook by Rebecca Genshak. That one definitely resonated with me more than Comeback did. So my song pick was So High School by Taylor Swift. His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This was one that definitely kept me guessing. I truly didn't know up from down. And once I had the twist figured out, I had been through so many iterations of it that it still surprised me. Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. The one thing I will say is I think that I probably would have liked this more if I didn't do the audiobook. The audiobook, the narrator herself was not bad, but the narrator was a more mature British woman, or at least had a British accent. The book itself is it's kind of horny. And so listening to an older, more mature British woman say those words over and over again, I was like, this is incorrect. Something is wrong here. It took me out of the story. But I loved the chronic illness rep and the plus size representation in this book. And I will probably read the rest of the Brown Sister series. And then this was a hard one for me. I did put Passion Project by London Sperry on here. I have a lot of feelings about this book.
I need to read it because
you do.
I don't want to be influenced.
I need to talk to you about it. I loved 80% of this book with my whole heart. And the other 20%, I audibly screamed at my audiobook while I was driving. I don't know if that's ever happened to me before. So that's where we are.
All right. This next segment is In Our Alliance. Books that we loved but ultimately had to cut off at the end and came up just shy of taking home the whole thing.
Mhm.
So I have 3.
Okay.
All of them are really good, but
Yeah.
just not quite there.
Totally.
Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, which wasn't on the pod, but I did do a review on it, and I did pick Truth Hurts by Lizzo for this one. I really liked that book.
Yeah.
And then By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult. That took me a long time to read, which is why it didn't get in the winners. I think if I read it quicker, it would be up there.
Yeah.
And then I did pick a song for that one too for the review, and it's The Man by Taylor Swift. And then Sage and Fisher are right here for me. But
I love them.
Savor It by Tara DeWitt.
So good. I adore Sage and Fisher with my whole heart. My list, a little bit longer. I have read more books than Hannah this year, which is just like, that's just what happens.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I did January, I read more. That was the first.
She did. That was, listen, we were impressed. we were very impressed. My first one is All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. The song that I picked was You're on Your Own by Noah Kahn. Next one is P.S. I Hate You by Lauren Connolly. This one was similar to Passion Project by London Sperry, where I loved the vast majority of it. Didn't necessarily love the conflict, but in comparison, and I feel like I've read a lot of romance books about grief this year, so I don't know if that's like a trending thing, because there's 3 books on here that grief is like a big chunk of it. Well, 4 technically, because like it's one living with grief before someone is gone. But I did enjoy it. The Fall Risk, which was a short story by Abby Jimenez. First Time Caller by BK Borison. I picked the song Heaven by Niall Horan. I thought that was so Lucy and Aiden. For me, Look Closer by David Ellis. That was a thriller that actually surprised me. Like, I was shocked at twists and turns. And I picked You're Gonna Go Far Kid by The Offspring. The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This was if you read this book, you must, and I mean must, do it on audio. You must. This was another one. Absolute chaos. I think I landed on like a 4-star, total, but man, so good. And also my song was The Last Time by Taylor Swift, and If You Know, You Know. If You Know, You Know. Just Our Luck by Denise Williams. This was so cute. Amazing positive plus size representation. Absolutely loved it. I got an ALC and an ARC of Bridesmaids by Chance by Megan Quinn, and I picked the song I Can See You by Taylor Swift. That was my favorite in the Bridesmaids series. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I didn't pick a song because I couldn't decide. I panicked. So I did not pick a song for this one. And then another one is This Spells Love by Kate Robb. This was an adorable magical realism. Definitely hornier than I expected. I wasn't mad at it, but like I was just a little taken aback. But my song pick was I Like Me Better by Lauv.
Love it.
And then we have our winner picks. So these are all of our favorite books of the year so far, the ones we would bet on to take it all the way to the $1 million at the final tribal council.
Yes. And a few of these are going to be duplicates, so you guys get to hear them. And they really are truly winners.
Exactly.
First one, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I did pick a swang. I picked a song called Squabble Up. My song for this is Squabble Up by Kendrick Lamar. Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle, which we just had her on the podcast, which
yes, we did.
I can't believe it.
It's so cool.
And my song was Two Ghosts, right? Two Ghosts by Harry Styles. Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, who we also just had on the podcast.
Yes.
And my song was Sad, Beautiful, Tragic by Taylor Swift. And lastly, I just finished this one. Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. Amazing. It's so good. 10 out of 10. No notes. Except one note. She did use the word bracket a lot.
Yeah?
So like bracketed his hips a lot and then like bracketed so that's my only note. Otherwise, loved it. And my song for it was Fix You by Coldplay.
Love. My winner picks, Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. My song was Happiness by Taylor Swift. This is now slated in one of my top 5 favorite books in recent memory. Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, obviously. Willow by Taylor Swift was my song. I think we also need to acknowledge real quick that our girl Kaylee is a #1 New York Times best-selling author. Kaylee, we are so proud of you. That is incredible and so well deserved. I actually had tears in my eyes when I saw the announcement. So cool. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. We were in the camp of we loved it. If you hated it, we understand. We just didn't. We didn't. So I don't know what to tell you. My song was Lose Control by Teddy Swims. I did a reread of The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And God, is this book so good. Oh,
I
this
need to
book is
reread it.
amazing.
I love that.
It was just like coming home to like a warm apartment with a homemade meal and like a big hug from someone you love. I adore this book. And my song is Holy Ground by Taylor Swift. I still firmly believe that that is one of my best song choices for any book that we've had on the podcast. It is The 7-Year Slip to me is Holy Ground. And then another one was Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver, the third book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I loved Fionn and Rose. I thought they were so fun, so funny. And Barbara, the raccoon sidekick, iconic, obsessed with her. Now, another romance about grief, but one that I think was done so well that the longer I sit on it, the more I think that I just need to increase my rating to a 5 because I
you're
can't stop
killing me
thinking
with
about
the
it.
song for that one.
Yeah. So the book is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone, and my song was Call Your Mom by Noah Kahn. And I think officially I'm going to raise my rating to a 5 on that book because it's one that like it has not left me since I finished it. And the audiobook performance of it by Alex Fink was incredible. Incredible. Also, to note that I just connected in my brain, Alex Fink also did the audiobook for Passion Project. And the plots are very similar in both Promise Me Sunshine and Passion Project. And I think that I read them so close together that like Promise Me Sunshine just won out in that there.
That's
both
fair.
were great though, but I do personally think Promise Me Sunshine is better. And then Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I've been waiting for Hamige's Games for 12 years. And I would have waited 12 more years to have my heart ripped out and stomped up by Suzanne Collins again. And a book that I just finished yesterday. It came out and I read it in like, I don't know, 32 hours or something like that. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. I thought this was a perfect, absolutely perfect cherry on top finish to the Rebel Blue Ranch series.
I know by the time this episode comes out, I will have read Wild and Wrangled, and it'll probably be in the same position for me as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Next we have Didn't Make This Season, but maybe next. So books that we're very much intending to read here soon, or we're in the middle of, that will be cast as next season for sure. But, you know, or maybe not, because we are mood readers to our core. So you may see them on next season, you may not. I think all of these I have like read at least a few pages in or like started listening to. Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. It was pretty interesting so far. The magic system is cool. Reminds me of like Inkblood Sister Scribe though, with like the books.
Oh, totally.
Pretty cool. Sunny Side Up by Katie Serena, which we have the arc of, which I'm excited to dive into that.
So excited.
Get it dive because is like a girl diving on the cover. Grace of Dragons by Maggie Hoopis. I started her book when we decided to interview her. Which her interview is at the end of this episode, so stay tuned for that. But especially after talking to her, I'm like, I need to finish this book.
Totally.
And then Junie, I got that from Libby Hold. I've been seeing it everywhere, so excited to finish that up. And then Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I've seen that everywhere. Tim Walls was even reading it, so definitely want to finish that up.
Love that. My next season cast includes Sunny Side Up by Katie Storino as well, Unromanced by Erin Connor. I'm going to physically read this because I had to put a pause on it. Unfortunately, I started the audiobook. I love audiobooks. And the male narrator that they chose, in my humble opinion, was the 1,000% wrong choice for the male main character. It immediately removed me from the story, and I stopped it at like 9%, and I have not been able to pick it back up. Like, I want to read it because I feel like I will love the book itself. Like, I
was one of your most anticipated reads.
It was. And so I know that 9 times out of 10, the author has very little to do with what those decisions are. And I want to be sure to give Erin Connor the chance that she deserves. But I do have a couple other arcs on this list. Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. I believe she's also the author of Trial of the Sun Queen, that series. if I'm not mistaken, and that's been on my TBR for a while. So I'm excited to read her romance. Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. We got to interview her. And especially after talking to her, I just know a story about food and ghosts and love, like it was built for me. It was built for me. And then currently sitting on my Kindle, just staring at me, but I've been holding off because I have to read other things first, is Love at First Sighting by Mallory Marlowe. I'm so excited to read this. And I mean, if all goes well, she's coming back, y'all. We're chatting with her about Love at First Sighting much closer to her release date.
Yes. All right. And now we are going to talk to Maggie Hoopis. Britt was busy, so just me and Maggie had a little girl chat about her book.
I can't wait to hear it. I had a last minute work event, so I could not make it, but very thankful for Maggie for stopping by the pod.
Welcome, everyone, to our section called Manuscript Minis, a part of this Vault track where we get to chat with authors. And this week we have the honor of hosting Maggie Hoopis, who released her book called Grace of Dragons a few months ago. So hi, Maggie. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I guess I'm a writer. I'm a beta reader. I'm an ARC reader. I'm a bookstagrammer. I'm a lover.
What's your star sign?
Oh, I'm a Leo. I'm a July Leo. Though. I'm very
Okay.
much a July Leo. I feel like there's a difference between July Leos and August Leos.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm a July Leo.
My husband's an August Leo, so I understand.
Ooh. I would love to be with an August Leo man. I always think about, okay, how many of the zodiac did I get through before I got married? And
I should look at that.
I did it once and I was like, I can't do August Leo man.
I'm a November Scorpio. Britt and I both are.
Okay.
And so I like our pairing.
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit more reserved, I feel like, than most Leos that I feel like I've met. So it works out really well. I should look back at my past people and see how many signs I got through.
It's Pokemon. Got to catch them all.
Right? All right. Well, once again, welcome. We are going to go over trigger warnings and a synopsis for Grace of Dragons.
Yes.
So first, trigger warnings pulled directly from the book. We have alcohol, death, humans, animals on and off page, gambling, grief, guns and shooting, infertility, masturbation, prostitution, sex, all consensual, swearing, weddings, misogyny, and sexism. It is the Wild West, so it is a wild ride for sure.
Yes. Yes. A little bit of everything.
And then Maggie, do you want to give a synopsis of your book in your own words?
Sure. It's about a 30-something-year-old woman named Grace who basically is raised like East Coast society. She jilts this cold-hearted expansionist at the altar and is saved by a dragon who whisks her out west. Very old West vibes. But the expansionist kind of starts chasing her in essence. And so she meets some friends. She becomes a prostitute she's given a cold curse when she flees by this expansionist guy named Demin. And she kind of she finds that the best way to keep warm is by having sex. So it provides an internal heat to her. So working as a prostitute works for her. So she does that for a bit at a brothel, and she works a saloon. And then one fated day, she is off defending her best friend and shoots a man in the crotch. And that kind of spirals everything so that she has to leave and go west even further.
Can't wait. I feel like almost at that part. So,
it's a fun one. It was a fun one to write.
Yeah. I love the Wild West setting. I feel like it's so cool, and to put dragons in it has been a lot of fun so far. And I can't wait to keep reading.
Yeah, and they're nice dragons. I was like, I wanted them kind of I like the idea of how elephants think that we humans are really cute as pets. And and they just think we're the best thing. They're like, yeah, you want to ride me? That's so cute.
Yeah.
And I kind of took that idea with the dragons.
No, I love that. I love the vibe. And I think replacing horses as mode of transportation is it was a cool concept that which is why I was like, oh, we got to talk to Maggie because I want to hear all about it. So we are going to keep this chat as spoiler-free as possible.
Yeah.
One, because I'm not finished yet. And since this is a manuscript vault style episode, so we'll be focusing more on Maggie and the author herself.
Okay.
But first, music is very important to us here on the podcast. We'd love to hear what song you would associate with the book and the playlist vibes you have for it.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to like alienate so many people. I'm not a huge country girl, like country girl. Yeah. Like it's just not my vibe in terms of
Fair.
music, but there are songs like that I'll like. I'm not saying I hate it. Like, and I was raised on like, Garth Brooks in the 90s and Dwight Yoakam in the 90s. And my dad, I think, went through like a huge phase in the 90s of like country stars. So those I'm okay with. And I'm like very okay with like bluegrass. And I like the old like folksy vibes of like the 70s. And I kind of felt like the ballads and some of those songs just like where it was like a country twang almost, like kind of like Allman Brothers type.
Okay.
Were a bit more of how I was feeling when I was writing. And I'm a classic rock girl. I really like classic rock. So as I was writing, I was often associating like each scene with a song.
I love that because you have the playlist in the book too.
I do.
Which is cool.
And I have the Spotify playlist minus like 2 songs on my LinkedIn.
Perfect. We will attach that to the episode too because
Or not LinkedIn, my
we love
Linktree.
playlists and
Yeah.
we love playlists and music with
Love
it.
it.
So
I do too.
but if you had to,
I really like it when people attach like, okay, what vibes are you feeling?
yeah, I'll have to let you know what song I associate at the end.
I can't wait. I chose My Maria by B.W. Stevenson. It's just, I really sunk into it when I was writing one of the chapters. One of the characters is based off of one of my best friends that I don't get to see all the time, like for years, and like we don't talk all the time. We recently saw each other like last summer when I was in the middle of writing, and I was like, I didn't expect to see you, so I was writing like a meetup with you into the book.
I love that.
And it's just like a fun like it's just a good time song. I feel like there's a little bit of everything in it. And Grace of Dragons is definitely not heavy completely throughout. Like I designed it when I wrote it as a palate cleanser.
It's been fun so far. Like I love the puns that Sadie does and everything.
I love it.
I've been laughing.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, I love hearing that people are laughing when they read it. I'm like, great. Not every book needs to be. I'm very serious during it. And if there are serious moments, I feel like that you need to have some levity to relieve some of that. So, and I don't think everybody copes just by being like, yes, my life is so hard.
No, that's what every book, there's so many books for so many different people and so many different reflections. So I agree. I think it really helps kind of guide different people. For that.
And plus some of my background is in improv. When I got pregnant, it was right before the pandemic. I had to go off my ADD meds, and I was like, how am I going to do this? And I ended up deciding, like, I'm going to sign up for improv. I've always been interested. I'm in Chicago. It's a great spot to learn it. And learned how to develop a character a bit more, learned how to be in the present moment, and also kind of work on callbacks and foreshadowing. So you'll see a lot of that in the book. Like you'll see a lot of how I've learned to tell a story in that way. Very character-based.
I love that. I did drama growing up, but I hated the improv side. Like, yes, and I hated that. But I love watching it, so I can appreciate it. But I bet that did help develop a character a lot in your writing. So that's cool.
It really did. It helped me really sink into, okay, well, how are they going to talk? What are their motivations? And then in their conversations, I really like a good callback. I think a good callback is just hilarious to me. And there's like a couple moments in there where they call back to themselves very on purpose, like you would a best friend. Be like, remember you told me that? They're like, shut up.
I love that. All right. So now we are going to talk We already briefly talked so
Yeah.
far about you and your inspirations, but what was the initial inspiration behind Grace of Dragons in this book for you?
My daughter asked me to write her a book about the planets.
Okay.
So at its heart, Grace of Dragons is an allegory
Okay.
of the bad guy being Pluto and being all mad that he got kicked out of the solar system. And Grace is Neptune. And she moves through, and without being spoilery, she moves through towards the sun.
Okay.
So some characters' names like all have to do with it. I think I characterize Verdus as being Verdus Uranus, and I said that topsy-turvy shit because Uranus is on its side.
Okay.
But like
I'm gonna have to brush up on some of my planets before I continue reading.
Yeah, my daughter's like, "Oh, can I read it now?" And I'm like, "No, actually."
When you're older.
Actually, I made some choices. And yeah, you're going to have to wait on that one.
But just know that it's inspired.
It's waiting for you. It's
I got you,
dedicated
girl.
to you. She chose parts of it. She chose like the scene break pictures.
So what does your writing process look like? Are you more of a plotter or a pantser? When you
I'm a
wrote this?
quilter. So,
Okay.
which I actually learned Diana Gabaldon, who does the Outlander series, does.
Mhm.
I see scenes and I'll write them out, and then I kind of stitch them together.
Okay.
I plot out like kind of a character arc in terms of what do they need. As I write, though, I kind of take moments to stop back and be like, okay, where's this going? And kind of check in. So it's a little bit of everything. I do a lot of daydreaming. If I can't get through something, I daydream a lot. I'll be like, well, I just need to sit with this for a day and think through like the world a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, because I was creating your world, because that's something like with, fantasy, right? You have this whole other realm, magic system, all of this.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you?
It was fun. I really got into creating like how organic is this magic system? How big is it? And I kept it really focused on Grace. Now I'm writing an interconnected standalone, and I am now reaping all of that as I'm trying to figure out, did I close myself off from some of this?
Oh, yeah, that's got to be hard.
It's just been more daydreaming, a lot more figuring it out, or a lot more being like, so I think this is going to go here, and then going, no, I'm going to go this way instead.
It'll all come together for you.
It's working fine. But yeah, I can't pants completely. There's too much, and I will lose focus. When I tell a story, I'll go in like 3 different directions.
Yeah. Tangents, like I was saying, if
Yeah.
you don't have the
All the time.
outline, it just, yep. But it's good I like the quilt. That's a good analogy. I'm going to have to remember that.
Yeah.
And so what's been the most challenging part of writing, though, so far for you?
I think some of it is learning everybody's different voice. Each character's different voice. Like sometimes I'll want a joke to come out because I'll be like, naturally be like, this could be hilarious. But realizing like that character wouldn't say it in the moment.
Yeah.
And then like having to decide, well, is it an in the moment joke, or is it like a good joke that I should keep for later on? So that's some of it. Yeah.
But on the flip side, what's been the most rewarding for you so far?
I love when the foreshadow. I love when everything just clicks. Like you're reading it and you'll see things. I wrote it also to be like a second read book. Like so that you read it through once and you're like, okay, and things will click. And then you'll be like, I kind of want to see where all this was laid out at the beginning. And I just annotated a copy from my friends. And I was like, this is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing. There's a lot hidden in there. So I really like when those moments where you just, everything, you're like, oh, I could put this in and boom. And I love those times. And it like gives it better meaning.
Yeah, when you like close the book and for you as a writer, you're like, I hope they find out these things. And then now me reading it, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to be paying attention more and be like, all right,
Yeah.
what is this going to be for? So I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and overall, what can people expect with Grace of Dragons in terms of vibes and tropes?
Unhinged. Grace says just a lot of things that are just, you're like, oh, okay, you are brazen. Tropes, we've got a loyal himbo who's like very much like Jason Mendoza from The Good Place, I've been told. But
It's a good comparison. I love that show.
I do too. It's so good. But like I modeled him like after Simu Liu. So I imagine.
Okay.
So that's another thing I do is I cast everything. And when I cast everything, then I can keep everybody straight.
Yeah, because you can visually see who's who and
keep everyone.
okay.
You can also expect like instead of who did this to you, it's who did this to me. I did this to myself. Instead of one horse, it's one dragon. Instead, there's a one bed situation. There's a single dad. There's like found family. There's I don't know. I always get tripped up on the cinnamon roll versus the golden retriever, and I can't quite place my. You'll have to let me know when you finish, like what
I'll
you
let you
think
know.
he is.
I'm gonna make a note so I remember. Note for myself.
I think he's just yummy though. You know, you got the
I
evil
can spell.
curse, the magical curse.
I love evil curses and curse breaking and all of that.
Yes. Yes.
Now for a couple fun questions. Would you survive in the Wild West, Maggie's version and regular version? Or a regular version?
Yeah, I would. I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like drink a ton of water, so I think I'd be really good. I wouldn't be like catching cholera or dysentery very easily because I'd be like just drinking the wine probably mostly or I'd be boiling it into tea or coffee. I had a friend tell me once, he's like, you would have made a great madam at a brothel. And I was like, you're not wrong. You're not. I could do that.
And
so
look, you wrote a great one.
oh God, I love her. I love her so much. Her backstory is incredible. And you might see more of that.
Teaser.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'd have been in that situation. I'd have been owning some part of it and been fine. Yeah. I don't think I would have been a school teacher.
No.
I wouldn't have been the Laura Ingalls Wilder school teacher at all.
No. I think I could survive in your version of the Wild West because there's like some magic and dragons, which I think are cool. But in real life, I don't know. I don't know about like the desert vibes, surviving on the land.
The snakes and the shooting and the
Yeah.
or you.
Yeah. Nope. I'm a city girl. I don't know. But I mean, I'd be down to visit.
I don't know if I could
come to visit for a little bit.
You know what? I bring it up. I'm a city girl too. I don't think I could do the town. I don't think I could do like off on my own homestead.
Yeah.
I'd be
Hopefully we never have to live there.
I'd be
right?
I'd be much too afraid of like something happening to me and like no one finding me for weeks.
Right? Just out in the desert, just the
like,
vultures are getting you.
They're just picking at your eyeballs as you're half alive.
Oh gosh. Yep, I could see it. Yep. All right.
You wouldn't see
We're
it
gonna
though.
just live. That's true. That's true. No one would know. No one would know.
No.
Oh my gosh. Huh. All right. And then if you could choose to have a dragon or a horse for mode of transportation.
Dragon, hands down.
Right?
Dragon.
Go anywhere.
Oh, everywhere. I mean, it's get there faster. They take care of themselves a bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, in the book, they never have to be like penned up or anything. It's like they choose to be with their people. So, I mean, because I was like, you can't put them in a pen like you do horses.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
They would just be like, that's funny. I'm just going to fly upwards.
Yeah. I'm just imagining a dragon just like in a pen. Like, okay, haha, you thought you had me?
Right. Yeah, not at all. And I was
No.
like, and I can't stand the idea of like, oh, I like Game of Thrones, they put like the things around their neck to keep them down. And I was
Mhm.
like, in the Wild West, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have anything strong enough to do that. It's a dragon.
No. Yeah.
And not everybody has magic. So
Yeah, so you couldn't be forcing this large creature to
No.
stay still.
no. So definitely a dragon. Plus, I feel like the post would go faster. Like package, it's a bit more like a UPS
Yep.
situation than a Pony Express.
Yes. Like, I'm just imagining like mini dragons, like little like pigeons, just like carrier pigeons. Just,
Yep.
here's your mail.
Yeah, I think I alluded to
I
that
love it.
like in one line somewhere, like just carrying the packages across the sky.
Well, Maggie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add or anything that you think we should cover about your book or you?
No, it's just a good time. It's not a conventional book. So like if you're used to romance in a certain way, I will say in the book you'll get it. It just won't look the same way that you're used to.
Which we like to switch it up. So,
I'm a big switcher.
but if you're not, that's your warning.
That's your thing. Yeah.
And where can readers find your books?
So I'm on Ingram, so it's available anywhere that you buy books. You can order it through there. You can get it on the Zon. You can get the ebook on Kindle. You can go through KU. You could also order it through me. I'll do signed copies on my website, maggiehoopis.com, and I put a little couple goodies in there, make it look all fun, like a little present for you. So if you're looking for something, my mom's like gifted it to people for birthdays
Aw.
and stuff. So I do it all up nicely.
I love that. But thank you so much for joining us, Maggie. We appreciate your insight, and check out her book, Grace of Dragons. It's available now. And where can everyone find you and support you on social media?
Yeah. So I have a heavy presence on Instagram. I post there way too often. And then you can find me on maggiehoopis.com, which is where like you'll see a lot of my events. So I have an event. I'm going to be at a convention at the end of April.
Okay.
Fame and Fantasy at Kansas City. So
Okay,
I will be
cool.
signing and selling books there. You can also, I have a Facebook page started too that I recently started, so you can see me there.
Awesome.
I'm pretty answerable through DMs too, so I love when people DM me that they're reading the book. I'll be like, yeah, tell me. My favorite thing has been to ask me what your favorite part is. So
Okay. I'll have to think about
because
that.
I haven't gotten the same answer once.
Interesting. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll DM you as soon as I finish
Yeah.
with my song and my favorite part.
Yes. I want to know what song you think of.
Yes. Well, thank you, Maggie.
Thank you so
we
much.
really appreciate you being here, and we will talk to you soon.
It's been so much fun. Thank you so much.
Yes. And thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, YouTube. Be sure to rate and review the podcast. You can also leave comments on Spotify episodes now, so give us your thoughts and your book recs on social media.
Yes. And we will see you on Wednesday, May 14th for our spring mixtape episode, where we're going to step back into Panem and recap Sunrise on the Reaping in the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins.
Yes. And remember, keep reading with kindness.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.